there. This is Jim.
And Jeremy.
And we are back. That's right. We have not done a podcast in a couple months. Actually, the one in August, here's a little secret. We did that in July before I went to Sweden. We are going to be talking today, this is show number 33, about the new MUNSTERS movie.
Woohoo!
Which is getting good and bad reviews, like everything. We're going to start with some new music and some music news. I think we'll start with the music news first. I got a couple of things here. Let's talk about Kiss. End of the Road tour. How long is this going to go on? Now I have an article here from September 23rd. And
what year? This year?
Yeah, this year.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Oh, no, wait a minute. This is from last year. I'm just wondering, they keep adding shows. Is the show going to end this year? Down the road, are they going to start up another tour? They are getting up there in age. That was just been on my mind, with Kiss. And also, are Ace and Peter going to join? It would be nice for the last show for them to join them, right?
It would, yeah.
Yeah. Are there going to be two aces on stage? Two Peters?
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say on that. Next one is another band has sold their catalog.
Uh-oh.
And it's Genesis.
Ooh.
$300 million. That's a lot of money. The Concord Music Group is buying the catalog. Now, there's three members of Genesis. Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford. I dare you to name the third one. Because nobody really knows.
No.
Tony Banks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You ever hear that name?
Yeah. I was not going to say Peter Gabriel.
I'm sorry, it just got dark in here.
It did get dark in here.
I don't know if I paid the electric bill.
Okay.
Oh, we're still on, though. We're still recording.
And it's hot, so there's no air.
It's a great atmosphere in here. The lights just went out, and it's like a sauna in here. Okay, so Genesis... $300 million, you would think it'd be split three ways. Poor Tony Banks. What's he going to get? $20,000? I don't know. The Concord Music Group says now owns select rights to Genesis songs, along with solo material of its three members. Tony Banks has 6 solo albums. Who knew? Has anyone heard them?
No.
So I think these are bands that are getting up there in age. Maybe they're not going to record another album. They haven't recorded an album in a long time. So they're cashing in, of course. Could be for the family when they're no longer here. But I always wonder, this music group, they could, all of a sudden we're going to hear Genesis commercials, or Genesis songs and commercials for Viagra, I don't know, Sprite. In the Air Tonight, that could be for air freshener commercial.
Sure.
Yeah. You Can't Hurry Love, that could be for Viagra, I could say, I don't know. Anyway, so that was my music news. Very exciting stuff going on.
Absolutely.
In the music world. And by the way, we will not talk about Kanye on this podcast. I'm sorry, folks. He's been all over the news.
Who?
Kanye.
Who?
Ye. Come on. Get with it. Ye. So there's, I've been listening to, like I said, we haven't recorded in a couple months, so I've been listening to a lot of stuff. This is stuff that's come out, in the last couple months. One artist who I really never got into, but now I just love her. I love her voice because it's a unique voice, is BETH Orton. Don't know if you know her, Jeremy.
Not a clue.
She had a new album out September 23rd called Weather Alive. She reminds me of another artist, which I know you haven't heard of, Jeremy, called Tanita Tikaram.
No, I have not.
So it's she was in the 90s, kind of obscure. She had a song called Twist in My Sobriety. I actually saw Tanita live. I did a faux pas, if you call it that. Tanita was a vegetarian, and I showed up at the club wearing a leather jacket.
Oh, nice.
And I tried to get her autograph, but I talked to one of the guys in the band, and he actually got her to sign CD for me. And it actually says it's signed to Man in Leather Jackets. So anyway.
Nice.
songs to check out off the album are Friday Night and Fractals. I don't know what that means, but that's a good song. We got Billy Idol, The Cage, another EP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at odds here with, because I said originally the first EP you should put out a full album, but if he keeps putting out EPs, that's fine.
Yeah.
September 23rd that came out. Running from the Ghost. It's weird because there's guitar in this song, but it's kind of in the background, and it kind of reminded me of Thunderstruck, if you listen real closely. It's a slow song, but the chorus has a build-up like that song. Rebel Like You, that's a great rocker. It starts off with the sound of a motorcycle, so you know it's going to be a good rocking song. We got Weezer, another album. They're doing their seasonal albums. This one's autumn. This is SZNZ. It's a good, fun EP. Songs to check out: Can't Dance, Don't Ask Me. That sounds like old Weezer to me. Tastes Like Pain kind of sounds like something out of Phantom of the Opera. So we got a couple different sounds going on here. Get Off the Pain. Get Off on the Pain. Another Pain song. Kind of an odd song. There's some guitar riffs in that one. What Happens After You. That's my least favorite. And this sounds like a bad Maroon 5 song. You know, not just Maroon 5, but a bad Maroon 5 song. That's really bad.
Well, there's some music news right there. Hasn't, what's his name, been in the news for issues on Instagram? Oh, my God. Who's the lead?
Adam Levine?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had some issues going on.
Yeah, we don't get into the nitty-gritty. You know what we're talking. Look up Adam Levine. Look up Adam Levine texts.
Yes.
I guess.
There you go.
He got a little out of hand with some fans, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's Adam Levine. I never really liked him.
No.
So then there's a fairly new artist. Her name is BEHOLD. I don't know if that's her real name. E-M and then BEHOLD. Egg in the Backseat. I just like that title.
That's a great title.
Yep. It's an EP, 7 songs. It's a pop album. She plays piano. There's a lot of piano. Songs to check out are Goo. And it kind of has hints of Dua Lipa and Olivia Rodrigo. And I'm not going to say I like them, but I'll say I like them. Numb Little Bug, a song about depression and surviving life, but, you know, set to pop music. Some great hooks in this song. We got the new Bush album, which I'm very impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
It was never really... I think I had the first Bush album, first or second, whatever the big album was. And but this one... Give Bush a listen. I don't have any songs written down, but really good. Really good. Really enjoyed that. We got a new one I just discovered today. Giovanni and the Hired Guns. I played this for Jeremy, and the song is called Ramon Ayala and Can't Answer Why. Guy's got kind of a rough voice. Reminded me a little bit of Post Malone without the rapping. These are honest songs. I truly believe these are true to life songs. Got to give it a listen. We got Madison Cunningham. Song Hospital, album Revealer. Kind of sounds like Ricky Lee Jones to me. She's a newer artist. We got, let's see. And here's some songs to check out. The Game by Sports Team. Stranded by STARCRAWLER. If you haven't checked out STARCRAWLER, got to check them out. Girl weighs about 80 pounds, but she's rocking. They used to do, she used to do shows where there's a lot of blood. I think she's gotten away from that
like
a little bit.
Like type?
No, she was just blood on her face, and she wasn't spitting blood or anything, but okay. I don't know. Did It Again by Pony, which is a girl singer.
Oops, I Did It Again.
Fun poppy song. Red Dress, Young Winona. Really cool song. It's a soft and hard song. Got a little bit of both there. And we can't get away without mentioning the new Taylor Swift album. Midnights. What's odd is on Apple Music, it's not there. Usually when a new album is about to come out, the album is actually there. They might have the tracks listed. I know she's been announcing the names of the tracks. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have. It's an October release date, but...
October 21st, Taylor Swift.
Ozzy had a new album come out, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mentioned that one. September 9th, I think it came out. Patient number 9 or something.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah, I like the title song. I don't know. I listened to it. I wasn't really... There's a couple songs I liked.
Yeah. The Yeah Yeah Yeahs had a
Yeah.
new album out too?
I listened to some of that.
Okay. And then, I just got Sammy Hagar in the Circle, their newest album. You love the cover. The Crazies. Remember I sent you a picture of the cover? Yeah.
Yeah, I got to give that
Crazy Times, not the Crazy, sorry. But I highly recommend. I actually enjoyed that album top to bottom, so see.
And he probably has the bass player from Van Halen, who's good friends with.
Yes.
Yeah, they're good buds. And Sammy's like 73, 74.
Sammy still rocks, man. He's one of those that I haven't seen yet, but I really want to. And I don't even care if he doesn't perform any Van Halen songs. I just want to hear it. I just want to see him perform and hear him sing.
Yeah. Okay, so that does it. New music. Go on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music, and search things out.
Yeah.
There's music out there.
Lots of it.
Okay, next up, we're going to talk about the new Munsters movie. And if you haven't heard, we recently, Mike and I interviewed Butch Patrick, so check that out. He talks a little bit about the movie. That was before the movie came out.
Now, he was the Tin Can Man, right?
Yeah, Butch was... Yeah, Butch Patrick, Eddie Munster in the original show, is the Tin Can Man. He's in the movie. He marries
that part is hilarious.
Lily and Herman, and you can kind of hear Butch's voice because it's distorted.
Yes,
but you can kind of hear that it's Butch Patrick. So this movie has good and bad reviews, and a lot of it was based on the trailer alone, which I don't understand. Because you're basing it on how a trailer to a movie was put together.
Which is also being based... I think people are forming an opinion because of the director of the movie, which we'll get into as well.
So I have some comments. I'm not going to mention people's names. I'd like to, but I'm not going to. So here we have... Okay, don't laugh. I've sprayed diarrhea all over the toilet that look better than this movie. Stop ruining classics. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely terrible. And this person can't spell, so we watched it from start to finish without a word of a lie. We wanted to stop it so many times, but felt if we are going to trash talk it, see, they went in knowing they didn't like the movie.
Absolutely.
On social, we should see it through the end.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Zombie should be banned from Hollywood. Okay, I won't go anymore there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then we have a good review. I think this is a good one. I just saw The Munsters starring Sheri Zombie, and she was as gorgeous and effervescent as ever. More skewed to younger ones, but has its moments of iridescent humor. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I'd hate this. I'm going to do voices. I knew I'd hate this movie. I've never, ever been more wrong in my life. I don't know what voice that is, but I'm obsessed with the original. This movie is incredible. You get the gist. We got good and bad. I personally love the movie, and I think Jeremy liked the movie.
Yes.
I watched it second time today. If you haven't heard about this movie, it's, The Munsters. It's a 1960s TV show. I don't know where you've been if you haven't, don't know what the Munsters are, but the new movie, directed by Rob Zombie, who has done horror movies only. This is PG, comedy. It was written by Rob Zombie. And
also a very talented musician, if you've been living under that rock where you don't know what the Munsters show is.
Yeah. And he's a huge Munsters fan. I think he wanted to do this movie like a long time ago. So we got a good cast here. And there are people that were in his movies, including his wife. We got Jeff Daniel Phillips as Herman.
The caveman. From the Geico commercials.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's one of the cavemen.
Yes.
Let's see. I wish I had my list here, but he was... I don't know why this doesn't say anything.
I don't know Why does the same thing?
I think it's worse.
Sorry, that was so funny.
Like the other characters they played. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
This doesn't say anything. It's blank.
I don't know why it's so funny to me. But it's so funny.
So we got Jeff Daniel Phillips. He plays Herman. He also plays, this is what I like, that some of the characters or the actors in the movie play other characters.
Multiple, yeah.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, he plays Shecky von Rathbone, which is he's a comedian, and Zombo he also plays, which is a TV personality. Mm-hmm. And that's a character from the original show. Sheri Moon Zombie, she is Lily, and she's also Donna Doomley. She's I think a news person.
Right.
Daniel Roebuck as the Count. Yeah, we're not calling him Grandpa in this one. And he plays Ezra Mosher, who kind of reminded me of Jiminy Glick. So Martin Short has a character, Jiminy Glick, who did a talk show. He's got makeup on. He's made to look heavier and weird, and just, he reminded me of him, that character. We got Richard Brake, and he is Dr. Wolfgang. He's the scientist guy, and he's also Orlok, which Orlok is basically, how do you say it, Nosferatu?
Yeah, he's like a Wish.com Nosferatu.
Yeah. Jorge Garcia as Floop, which is his assistant, and we got two people from Lost on here. Jorge was in Lost. Daniel Roebuck was in Lost. We got Cassandra Peterson, and if you don't know by name, she is Elvira, but she plays Barbara Carr. She's a real estate agent.
Yep.
Dee Wallace. She was also in at least one, I saw one Rob Zombie movie that she was in.
Halloween, right?
Possibly. She's Good Morning Transylvania announcer. And Pat Priest, who is one of the original Marilyns from the Munsters. She is the announcer for the airline. You hear her over the speaker when they're on the plane, when they're getting off the plane. Butch Patrick, of course, Tin Can Man, and some other people we don't know.
I was going to say, who played the Wolfman, do you know? Not the Wolfgang
Lester.
Scientist. Yeah.
Thomas Boykin.
Yeah, he did a great job. I loved that character.
He was a cool cat.
Yes.
So again, I think the movie, it's a fun movie if you go into it. Just thinking goofy. There's a lot of course, dad jokes, and believe it or not, the Munsters, the original TV show, Herman would make stupid jokes. You know, there's a scene in the Munsters movie. There's a couple scenes, there's musical scenes in this movie. One, Herman's in a band. Mm-hmm. He's in like a punk band.
Yeah, he's like the lead singer.
Yeah. And I love this song. And there is an album out. It's a double album. But the album has songs, and then it has excerpts from the movie, like audio. I ordered the album, but I'm wondering how it's going to play, you know, just listening to snippets and then songs. But okay, so Herman sings a song called I Got a Million of Them, mm-hmm. which means, you know, he's got a million jokes, I guess. But I was cracking up. I mean, these are stupid. But he'll say a joke, and then the punchline, and then you'll hear guitar, and like it's a punky kind of song.
Yep.
And one is, so what if I don't know what Armageddon is? It's not like it's the end of the world. We're going to be at an autograph show where we're going to be meeting Jeff Daniel Phillips and Daniel Roebuck, but I was thinking of maybe having them put that on the poster.
And Richard Brake and Dee Wallace will be there as well.
Richard Brake. Yeah, Richard Brake was also in a movie called Barbarian. Mm-hmm. He's been in a bunch of stuff. What else was he in?
Rob Zombie movies, typically.
Oh, yeah. I watched the movie again today, and I'll probably watch it. I'll probably watch it once a year around this time. I don't know. It's just a fun movie. Mm-hmm. One thing I didn't like was the intro to the movie. There should have been. I'm not a movie director, you know, or anything, but the opening of the movie, there should be an opening, and then there was the title. It was weird.
It was very weird.
Because there's this zombie-like guy. They show Herman being created. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's like a Frankenstein, different parts. So there's like this zombie-like guy, and all of a sudden you see the Munsters across his face. And that was the intro to the movie.
Right.
The end of the movie, and this is not a spoiler because this was in one of the trailers, is that when they bust through the door, like the intro to the TV show,
right? I
thought that should have been the beginning of the movie. And I know Jeremy agrees with that.
I had mentioned that to you before we talked on here, but I agree. They should have incorporated it sooner.
Yeah, I don't know why the end was that, and with the Munsters theme.
Yep.
Another song in the movie is I Got You, Babe. And again, Jeremy and I both thought this movie had a lot of funny parts in it.
Going back to the beginning, they start out in a graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really get any kind of intro, to your point. It's just you're in a graveyard. They're looking for a body that had kind of gone away.
Mm-hmm.
They make it go away. And then you're like into a different scene of the film. And you still haven't even seen the Munsters title come across or anything. It was just, it was a very strange transition to me, the introduction of that movie.
Yeah.
No music, just a random scene that kind of moved into a different scene.
They go down these steps and they're looking in a coffin and the body's not in there.
Right.
And then the guy's walking around and they make reference that he's a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he wants his hands because I think the guy was a pianist or something. I thought it was a cool concept that of course, this has been done before where Dr. Henry Augustus Wolfgang, right? Let's say Dr. Wolfgang, his assistant, he sends it. There's two brothers that die.
Mm-hmm.
And one's a comedian and one is like, I don't know what he is. He could be a scientist. He's just a very smart guy, right?
Right.
So you know where this is headed. Floop, he gets the wrong, brain. But I thought that was cool to incorporate that in the Herman's behavior, his comedic, stupid jokes.
Yep.
That all fit in. And then, of course, Daniel Roebuck is great. That's the Count.
Yeah.
He's doing kind of a Al Lewis, but not exactly voice.
Mm-hmm.
His grandpa. The premise is Lily is looking for a husband, right? And she first meets this guy. He looks like Nosferatu, right?
He tries.
He's got some pet mice, and she kind of leaves him outside he's dancing around outside a club.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of leaves him there. Dr. Wolfgang goes on a TV show and he introduces his monster that
who at this point isn't speaking yet.
He doesn't speak at first, but then he starts doing jokes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But it happens like on the show.
Yeah, it happens on the show.
And I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody, but Dr. Wolfgang is just like so embarrassed.
Yeah.
by this creation.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I think he wanted him to be a little bit more intelligent.
Yes.
Or something. But Lily is enamored with Herman and eventually meets him at the club where he's performing and, goes on a date with him. We won't go through the whole movie.
They emphasize this with some really cheesy 70s, 80s styles graphics in the background.
Mm-hmm.
The screen like comes to a stop and you see all these hearts and like her just in awe.
Yeah. At first I didn't like that, but I think it works.
Yeah.
And someone mentioned it's almost like a Saturday morning, show.
It's got a very campy feel to it.
But I think if you haven't seen the movie and you want to watch it, just go in with an open mind, like all this stuff, and don't look into it too much and just have a good time watching it. There's a scene where Grandpa's at the table, Herman comes over for dinner, but I noticed he's reading a book, and I thought it was pretty funny. The name of the book is The Ultimate Guide for Eliminating Friends, Family, and Unwanted Future Relatives. And it's the beginner's guide to murder made easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
They only show it for a little bit, but I did get that. And then, like I said, there's another song in this, I Got You, Babe, which was, Cher and Sonny Bono. And, Herman's wearing a wig. He kind of looks like Sonny. And I also have this came out on vinyl. It came out as, it's weird because it's like it's not a 12-inch. It might be a 12-inch or 10-inch, but there's only one song on one side. The other side is etched.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like yellow vinyl.
Okay.
I never heard Sheri Moon Zombie sing before, but I think she's a decent singer. I don't think her voice is too processed. Jeff Daniel Phillips, that's another thing, because he's being goofy singing, and I have a feeling he can't really sing. I don't know if he's trying to summon up Sonny Bono somehow. I don't know what he's doing.
Right.
I did like the wedding scene. I'm not going to tell you exactly, but I like how Lily arrives to the wedding. I like that. I like the look of the movie. It would be interesting to see it in black and white. And the end of the movie with them coming through the door is in black and white.
Yes.
The colors are very vibrant. And if you get the DVD, I know I have the Blu-ray. There are extras on there. I started watching that. It shows you how, like the very beginning when they started doing the makeup for them. I'm sure it shows how they film certain scenes and everything. I'm a big Munsters fan, and I like this movie. So I don't know if that means anything. You know, you're never going to have the original cast. You know, you're never going to have Al Lewis and Fred Gwynn. You're never going to replace them. And I think people are hung up on that. You know, you should never remake anything. But I can see the love that Rob Zombie has for the Munsters. Everything that went into this movie. I mean, they rebuilt the Munsters house.
Yep.
I think it's kind of funny when the Munsters have to move out of their house. I'm not going to give you the whole plot, but and they go to Hollywood or near Hollywood because the house is near. You can see the Hollywood sign outside the house to what is the Munsters house. They go to buy a house, but when they're in the car and you see it's all animated or it's all drawings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think because it was filmed filmed in Hungary, Budapest, that they had to they didn't film in California.
Right.
So I think that was kind of cool. This is how we're going to do it when they get to the house,
right.
When they go in the car with the real estate agent.
I'm one of those people that I tend to not like when Hollywood remakes movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love originality. I love when people come up with their own thing. But what I loved about this is The Munsters was a TV show. You know, it was a series that repeated weekly, and you had different plots and different concepts each week. There wasn't a movie to base this off of. So there is some originality here from Rob Zombie because he's creating a film instead of a weekly TV show. I can appreciate that, and I can appreciate that he tried to keep some of those original concepts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times when you get remakes that people hate, it's the same movie over again. They're just trying to update the special effects or, you know, try and insert a better actor or, you know, something to that extent.
Yeah, they're going by the exact script.
Yeah. So it's not very original, or they'll change, you know, a significant scene and try and make it their own. But this to me felt, even though the Munsters, you know, like I said, was an original TV show back in the 60s, 70s, this was more original because it didn't have a movie to go off of. So now you have something that you're taking an adaptation of something you enjoyed as a kid and you're visualizing it as your own for a future length film.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciated that aspect of things.
And we never got to see how Lily and Herman met, how Herman was created, but we kind of knew he was kind of a Frankenstein monster. And I'm looking forward to, I hope there's another one after this where we see Eddie and Marilyn. I have to say that the ending, but not the ending when they're going through it, but the very ending I didn't particularly like. I didn't like that we only saw the Munsters house at the very end.
Right.
I don't know how else you could have done it because they were leading up to...
I thought it was creative the way they met their neighborhood.
Yeah.
I liked, but...
Yeah, if you didn't see the movie, we're trying not to give away too much.
No. But I agree. We didn't see a lot of the house, which was disappointing. And you know, the other thing I want to point out here, this probably seems like common sense, but I hear this a lot. The Addams Family and the Munsters are two totally different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People seem to confuse those even to this day.
Yeah, yeah.
And I even heard it the other day, Lurch wasn't in the movie. It's like,
really?
Lurch shouldn't be in the movie.
Yeah, he was never in the Munsters. Oh, and one more thing, and again, this is something I didn't like, was Uncle Gilbert, who is basically the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
That costume or whatever
they missed on that one.
Yeah, I think it could have been. I mean, I know they had a certain budget to go on. I mean, this movie cost, I think, $5 million.
I think they did a great job for the most part with most of the costumes. That one didn't impress me. The Nosferatu didn't impress me.
I like the Nosferatu.
He was funny. And then there was one other one at one point that I was like, really? I thought you could have done a little bit different there, but I'm drawing a blank on.
I'd say go see this. It's on Netflix. You can also get the DVD. if you want. I think Walmart has it for $12. I just don't get all the haters, and I think a lot of them saw the movie even before it was on Netflix. I don't agree with the watching illegal movies. I mean, I know some people do that. And I think people went into this movie hating Rob Zombie.
Yep, I agree.
Musically, if you absolutely, and there are a lot of people out there that hate Bruce Springsteen, would you listen to his new album? You're going in already hating the person.
Right.
So you're going to pick apart everything. You know, there's not many people that I don't like as far as like movies. There are music people, but even music people, I just won't listen to them. So don't watch it. You don't like Rob Zombie, just don't watch it. We don't want to hear from you because we like the Munsters. That does it, I guess, for the podcast. Coming up, hopefully a week later, we have a great interview. We also did today with Lauren Marie Taylor. And she was in Friday the 13th, Part 2. She was in Neighbors with John Belushi. She talks a little bit about that. And Dan Aykroyd. So give that interview a listen. And then we will have another podcast where we're talking about new horror movies and also themes from horror movies. So check that out. So thanks for listening, and we are out of here.
See you later.
You've been listening to No Good Music. Intro and exit music by the band 99%. Today's show was produced and edited by Jim Thatcher and recorded at the Did You Say 7 Studios in Washington, New Jersey. You can find No Good Music on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Pandora, and almost anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Munsters theme interpretation by Jim Thatcher.